Welcome to the Past Glimpse Photos channel.
Subscribe to the channel and like the video.
This is one of the most haunting portraits of the era, famously known as the Baun mugshot. It features a young yet defiant woman whose gaze locks the viewer's attention. The photo captures the stark severity of early criminal records, contrasting the personal drama in her eyes with the vintage dress of the late 19th century. This unusual portrait reflects the tattoo fascination of the late 19th century. Despite the European suit, the face and neck are covered with patterns reminiscent of traditional Maori or other island cultures, a rarity in the West. It demonstrates the influence of exotic cultures on the fringe society of that American era.
This is a prime example of American mimetic architecture from the 1920s. It's the old Mother Hubbard restaurant built in the shape of a giant shoe. Children are gathered at this whimsical structure, a perfect illustration of roadside commerce and the nostalgia of that bygone era.
This poignant photograph captures refugees from Bucharest during the First World War. A woman and 4 children stand on the steps of a train car, their faces showing fatigue and uncertainty. The image is a stark testament to the devastating impact of war on the most vulnerable in society.
This vintage postcard from Riga captures 2 chimney sweeps from the early 20th century. Dressed in their top hats and soot-stained gear, loaded with tools, they smile for the camera. In European culture, chimney sweeps were symbols of good luck, adding historical charm to this unusual profession.
Cannes, 1927. This surreal photo showcases an extravagant entertainment of the era. A man in a hat driving a light carriage pulled by an ostrich. The image perfectly captures the golden age of the French Riviera, where unusual spectacles were part of the luxurious resort lifestyle.
This 1920s photograph captures a flapper, the image of the independent woman of the Roaring Twenties. Dressed in a wide-brimmed hat and fashionable dress, sitting at the wheel of a car. She symbolizes the freedom and new rights for women enabled by both the automotive and social revolutions. This rare photograph captures an African-American woman with a guitar, likely in the early 20th century. Standing amidst wilderness, she holds the instrument that became a symbol of nascent blues and folk music. The image is a vital testament to the early history of American vernacular music. This is Mary Pickford, America's sweetheart, and one of silent film's most influential stars, operating a camera. The photo shows her not just as an actress, but as a producer and co-founder of United Artists. This image symbolizes the era when women first took power in early Hollywood. This photograph from Indonesia captures a craftswoman working on an ancient body tension loom. The technique used to create a tapestry-style shoulder cloth demonstrates the preservation of traditional weaving methods, where the artisan's body forms part of the machine. This poignant 1946 photograph captures residents of Koblenz, Germany, standing barefoot in a line to receive shoes collected for them by the Red Cross. The image serves as a stark reminder of the harsh living conditions and humanitarian crisis in post-war Europe. This 1947 photograph from a Ukrainian school illustrates the post-war revival of education in the Soviet Union. Students surrounded by zoology exhibits, skeletons, and taxidermy specimens are intently engaged in their classroom. The image highlights the emphasis on science and education during those years. This 1951 photograph from Michigan captures a typical American elementary school classroom. A teacher in a sharp suit and students seated on old wooden chairs are learning the alphabet and poems. The image reflects the pre-war atmosphere of strictness and community in American education. Kitchen Crew, Michigan, early 1900s. This photograph shows the team in white aprons, busy preparing food in a simple wooden structure. The image reflects the austere working conditions and community spirit of the early 20th century, before the era of modernized industrial kitchens. This is a model or prototype of early 19th century public transport, resembling a double-decker horse-drawn omnibus. With its circular and square windows and a balcony, it showcases cities' drive to increase passenger capacity long before the advent of motorized buses.
This photo captures a complex device from the World Wars era, an acoustic locator. Operators in headphones manually adjust the massive horns to pinpoint the direction and altitude of enemy aircraft based on sound. This was a key element of early anti-aircraft defense.
This amusing late 19th century photograph captures an invention, a four-wheeled cycle equipped with incredibly large pneumatic tires. Designed to provide a comfortable ride on rough roads, this novelty showcases the bold, yet not always practical, experiments of the early transportation era. This image shows a military man from the early 20th century demonstrating an invention for faster movement, mechanical roller skates with small wheels. This early experiment in military mobility illustrates how armies sought ways to rapidly move infantry before the development of motorized transport. This shows a flight demonstration of the Hiller VZ-1 Pawnee flying platform, circa 1956. A soldier stands on the futuristic device, which was intended for individual reconnaissance. This unusual craft reflects the U.S. Army's bold and unorthodox experiments during the early jet age.
This mid-20th century photograph captures a woman diving underwater in an early diving helmet. Such devices allowed tourists and explorers to easily view the seabed without complex gear. The image reflects the birth of underwater tourism and interest in marine life.
This 1930s photograph captures a woman using one of the earliest prototypes of a dishwasher. The hand-cranked metal bowl device illustrates the dawn of household mechanization, anticipating the era of modern domestic appliances.
This photograph from the early 1900s captures a housewife with one of the first vacuum cleaners. Dressed in a Victorian blouse and long skirt, she operates the cumbersome mechanical device. The image marks the start of the domestic labor revolution and the advent of household appliances. This vintage postcard from Noord-Brabant, Netherlands, captures an elderly woman seated by a cast-iron stove. The image reflects the austere yet peaceful daily life in early 20th century European rural areas, complete with religious symbols and minimal furnishings. This late 19th century photograph captures a young woman engaged in hand spinning. She is flanked by a traditional spinning wheel and a large mass of wool. The image reflects the preservation of ancient domestic crafts during the industrial era, highlighting the value of manual labor and tradition. This mid-20th century photograph captures children playing on a cobblestone street somewhere in Europe. Two little girls with a pram and homemade bonnets illustrate the simplicity of post-war childhood, set against old brick homes and hanging laundry. This mid-20th century photograph captures a family standing outside their caravan home. The parents and four children pose against their wheeled dwelling, which served as both their home and means of travel. The image reflects the strong family bonds and nomadic way of life of that era. This vintage photograph from the early 20th century captures a family outing on a European coast. People, including women in hats and children in sailor suits, are sitting on the sand next to wicker beach chairs, or Strandkorbe. The image reflects the era's formal yet carefree style of seaside leisure, with a pier visible in the background. This hilarious 1930s photograph captures two women on a beach, posing in swimsuits while wearing grotesque alligator masks. The image reflects the early era of beach culture and humor, where unusual costumes and props were part of the entertainment on the American coast. This image shows Helen Campbell, a wireless operator in New York in 1917. She is working with the bulky radio equipment typical of World War I. The photograph underscores the important, pioneering role women played in technology and communications in the early 20th century. This vintage photograph from the early 20th century captures a man undergoing an examination with an early hearing or audiometry device. The cumbersome equipment, featuring headphones and a horn, illustrates the nascent stage of audiology and medical technology development. This stark photograph from World War II captures women working behind the lines in artillery shell production. Dressed in padded jackets and headscarves, they stand at lathes. The image highlights the crucial role women played in wartime manufacturing, replacing men who had gone to the front. This astonishing photograph from the Battle of Britain captures the aftermath of an air raid. A German bomber, complete with identification markings, has crashed directly into a residential building, demolishing the roof. The image is a stark testament to how the war reached right into European cities. This World War II photograph captures a squad of U.S. Marines huddled in a deep trench surrounded by sandbags. The soldiers in camouflaged helmets are resting or preparing for battle. The image conveys the grueling yet communal atmosphere of frontline life in the Pacific theater of operations. This wartime photograph, likely from World War II, captures a soldier transferring fuel from a hose into jerry cans loaded in a muddy trailer. The image, set against a backdrop of woods and tents, reflects the harsh conditions of field resupply and logistics, where every liter of fuel was critically important. This mid-20th century photograph captures a paratrooper in full gear, standing in front of rows of packed parachutes. The image, taken pre-jump, reflects the discipline and readiness of the troops, underscoring the importance of airborne operations in modern warfare. This World War II photograph captures German soldiers resting near a field kitchen during a break. One soldier is writing, while another drinks from a bottle. The image reflects the brief moments of rest and the daily logistics necessary to maintain life and combat readiness at the front. This poignant early 20th century photograph, likely from the archives of Jacob Riis, captures two children sleeping in a cramped, austere room. The image, showing a simple wooden bed and a pail underneath, is a harsh testament to the poverty and difficult living conditions of that era. This wartime or disaster relief photograph captures a soldier in uniform wading knee-deep through a flooded street, balancing trays of teacups and baked goods. The image reflects the British tradition of tea time, preserved even in the most severe and unusual circumstances. Germany, 1945. German POWs sit on the ground with their hands raised under the guard of U.S. soldiers. A streetcar is visible nearby. This image is a powerful testimony to the cessation of hostilities and the mass surrender of German forces after the defeat of the Third Reich. This rare World War I-era photograph captures two pilots or aviation mechanics in bulky helmets, goggles, and heavy flying gear. They stand next to an early biplane. The image reflects the primitive yet brave conditions of early military aviation,